everyone, Ricardo Nava here. I'm just sitting here thinking, and we're in a new year now. We're in 2020, and we all have goals, things that we want to accomplish, right? Well, I know that there's a lot of people out there whose goal is to buy a house this year, which is great. It's an awesome goal. The bad thing is that there's media, there's friends, there's family, just people in general on social media who will be very, very negative about how San Diego's just too expensive, cost of living is too high. Even if you're watching this and you don't live in San Diego, but you live maybe in another high cost area, whether it's San Francisco, New York, wherever, you're probably hearing the same things, on your local news saying how you need to make over 6 figures to be able to afford a home here. Well, I want to tell you that that is actually not true, okay? You do not have to move away to another state to be able to purchase a home. You do not have to leave the area that you love to be able to buy. It really isn't. And there's 3 main important things that you can do to be able to prep yourself to be able to buy, no matter what area you're in, no matter how much homes cost, because obviously home values tend to rise over the years. Even if there's a dip in the market, even if, in the coming years or whatever, there's a recession and home values do dip, well, what we see historically is even when they dip, they'll go back up. They'll dip, they go back up, but they're always going up. But that shouldn't scare you. And here's the reason why. Number 1, budget. If you are not budgeting already, I highly recommend that you start doing that right now. You need to track how much money is coming in and how much money is going out of your account every single month. Now, the people who I've noticed usually don't have a budget the most. It's not really what you think. You don't think people who are bad with money, you think, okay, yeah, those people probably never budget. I myself have been a person who has been bad with money for many, many, many years, and yes, I never had a budget. But I've also noticed that people who make a lot of money also don't budget. They don't track how much is coming in or coming out because they don't really need to, right? So I'm here to tell you that either way, no matter whether you make a lot of money or a little bit of money, it's good to know how much money you have left over at the end of the month. Why? Because then you can start to plan on saving. How much do you want to save? Let's say you want to save 5% for a down payment. The minimum is 3%. I mean, really, you can do it 0% if you really wanted to. You could do a down payment assistance loan with no money down if you really wanted to. I would highly recommend at least having some money. So get a goal. What's your goal? 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is. How long will it take you to reach that goal? Well, I don't know. Well, how do you know? How much money do you have left over after every month, right? Whether it's 500, 1,000, $1, whatever it is, you'll be able to calculate how long it will take you to save up the amount of money that you need or the amount of money that you want to have before you buy if you know your budget. So that's step 1. If you don't have a clue of how to budget, let me know. I can definitely help you out. I have spreadsheets that I can give you that you can use to track everything. It's actually a lot easier than what you imagine. I was very scared of it when I first was introduced to it because I had no idea what to do. But once you get going, it's actually not that hard. Number 2 is don't be afraid to start small. Okay, because one common mistake I see with first-time home buyers is that right away their first home, they want it to be a mansion. They want it to be a single-family home with a huge yard, all kinds of bedrooms for their kids and future kids or dogs and parrots or whatever it may be. And that's great. It's great to have those goals, and if you can afford that and if you qualify for that, that's amazing. That's awesome. Good for you. But not everybody can afford a single family home or their dream home right off the bat. So what are you gonna do? You can do what my parents did. You can do what a lot of people do, which is start small. So even if you're living in a 2-bedroom apartment right now, and the only thing you can afford is to move into a 2-bedroom condo that is gonna be almost exactly the same as your apartment, well, guess what? You're no longer renting anymore. That condo is building equity, and several years down the line, you're gonna have enough equity in that condo to be able to sell it and upgrade and buy that house that you want. So Don't be afraid to make a lateral move or even to downgrade. Even if you already are renting a home and the only thing you can afford is a condo or a townhome, and to you it seems like a downgrade, it's not. Because anytime that you own the property and you're no longer paying rent, it's not a downgrade, because now you're building equity. Hopefully that makes sense. Number 3 is you have to believe that you can actually do it. Okay, with all this negativity, if you keep telling yourself, I'm never going to afford a home, I'm never going to afford a home, I'm never going to afford a home, guess what? You're never going to be able to afford a home. So it all starts with number 1, believing. It doesn't matter what the media says, it doesn't matter what anybody on social media says, it doesn't matter what your uncle who's an expert in whatever says. You can do it, and you have to believe that you can. Because once you do, things will begin to set in motion that will get you to accomplish that goal. So hopefully that helps. Those are just my thoughts for today. If you need help with anything, whether it's budgeting, if you think you're ready and you want to see where you're at, let's get you pre-approved. It doesn't cost any money. It doesn't do anything. It actually helps you to have a plan, to prepare, to be ready. Maybe you're not ready for another year. Well, at least you know exactly what you'll need to do, right? So reach out to me. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you. Have a good day. God bless. Bye.